Chrisley of Chrisley knows best, suing Tennessee County and deputies. Hello, everyone. Welcome back for another video. I hope everyone's having a great day. Before watching the video, please subscribe and like it. Rutherford County 10. Chrisley, son of Todd and Julie Chrisley, best known for their family reality show Chrisley Knows Best, is suing Rutherford County and two deputies for nearly $2 million. Chrisley's parents were recently pardoned by President Trump after being convicted for bank fraud and tax evasion. Chrisley is claiming he's been unfairly targeted because of his family name and for a crime he says he did not commit. This is an unusual case that happened in a quiet neighborhood. He's suing in federal court even as his own criminal case is pending. "It was very scary, and I have a wife and two kids to think about," said Chrisley. Despite leaving his family's show, Chrisley has said he remains close to his family. "I get along with everybody, but do my own thing," he say. Chrisley said he still gets recognized, and he and his attorney, Wesley Clark, think that is at the heart of his recent legal trouble. "We believe this is because of who Chrisley is. Someone recognized him and decide they are going to treat him differently because of who he is," said Clark. Last September, Chrisley had a business dispute with a man who came to his Rutherford County home. In a Ring camera video from a neighbor, you can hear Chrisley's wife screaming and calling 911 to report that the man was damaging their personal belongings. Clark said the man smashed into their car, did donuts in their yard, and later sped off. Deputies arrived and spoke to the man, who claimed Chrisley attacked him with a knife, something Chrisley denies. At a preliminary hearing, witnesses testified they never saw a knife. Still, Chrisley was arrested and later indicted for aggravated assault. "They turned a blind eye, and they go after Chrisley," said Clark. Clark called the charge absurd and filed a $1.7 million lawsuit naming Rutherford County and two sheriff's deputies for violating his client's constitutional rights. The criminal case against Chrisley is still pending. If convicted in his case, I asked if he expects the same presidential treatment his parents received. "I don't think I'm going to need it," said Chrisley. The Rutherford County Sheriff could not comment on the case since the lawsuit was just filed, and they don't typically talk about pending litigation. Chrisley, the eldest son of Todd Chrisley and a familiar figure from the long-running USA Network reality series Chrisley Knows Best, has filed a lawsuit that has already begun stirring public interest and legal debate. The lawsuit names a Tennessee county and several deputies as defendants, alleging misconduct, mistreatment, and violations of his rights that he claims have left lasting consequences on his life and reputation. With the Chrisley family already deeply entangled in legal battles, financial scandals, and prison sentences, this latest lawsuit adds yet another complex chapter to a saga that continues to draw national attention. Kyle, who has lived much of his life under the glare of cameras and headlines, is no stranger to personal struggles. Throughout the years, his appearances on the show were marked by periods of absence as he battled substance abuse issues, mental health challenges, and strained relationships with his famous father. His journey has often been portrayed as one of both redemption and relapse, a narrative that played out in full view of the public. Now, however, the story has shifted from family drama and television storylines to a direct confrontation with law enforcement officials and local government authority. According to the lawsuit, Chrisley alleges that he was wrongfully targeted and subjected to unlawful conduct during an incident involving deputies in Tennessee. He claims that his constitutional rights were violated and that the deputies used excessive force during what should have been a routine encounter. The complaint asserts that the deputies not only escalated the situation unnecessarily, but also left him injured and humiliated. He argues that the incident caused both physical pain and emotional trauma and has had a lasting effect on his ability to rebuild his life. The filing further claims that the county failed in its duty to properly train and supervise its law enforcement officers. Kyle's legal team argues that the actions of the deputies were not isolated mistakes, but rather evidence of a broader culture of misconduct within the sheriff's department. By naming the county itself, the lawsuit seeks to highlight systemic issues and push for accountability beyond just the individuals directly involved. Kyle is seeking damages for medical expenses, pain and suffering, and the long-term impact on his personal and professional reputation. The county and deputies named in the lawsuit have not remained silent. Early statements from officials suggest that they intend to vigorously defend themselves against what they describe as exaggerated or misleading allegations. They argue that the deputies acted within the scope of their duties and followed proper protocol in a tense and difficult situation. Supporters of law enforcement in the region have pointed to Kyle's troubled past as a reason to question his version of events, while others argue that his history should not diminish his right to fair treatment under the law. This lawsuit arrives at a time when the Chrisley family remains a lightning rod for media coverage. Todd and Julie Chrisley, the patriarch and matriarch of the family, are currently serving prison sentences following convictions for bank fraud and tax evasion. Their downfall shocked fans who once viewed the couple as wholesome reality stars showcasing Southern charm and family unity. With Todd and Julie behind bars, the spotlight has shifted to their children, who continue to navigate both the entertainment industry and their personal lives under scrutiny. For Kyle, the lawsuit represents not just a legal battle but also another test of public perception as he seeks to be taken seriously amid a backdrop of family scandal. Observers note that lawsuits against law enforcement agencies are not uncommon in Tennessee or across the United States. In recent years, there has been a growing trend of individuals challenging the practices of sheriff's departments, police forces, and county jails, especially in relation to claims of excessive force or civil rights violations. Kyle's case fits into a broader national conversation about accountability, transparency, and the relationship between communities and the law enforcement agencies sworn to protect them. However, what makes this lawsuit stand out is the celebrity dimension Kyle brings. His name recognition ensures that his case will receive far more coverage than most similar complaints filed by private citizens. Public reaction has been mixed, with some fans expressing support for Kyle and applauding him for taking a stand, while others remain skeptical. Social media commentary reveals a divide between those who believe that his allegations highlight serious issues within law enforcement and those who dismiss the lawsuit as another dramatic twist in the ongoing Chrisley family saga. Some critics argue that Kyle may be motivated by financial desperation, pointing out that the Chrisleys' fortunes have dwindled significantly in the wake of their legal troubles. Others, however, counter that regardless of his past, Kyle deserves the same protections and recourse as any citizen when it comes to interactions with law enforcement. Legal experts who have reviewed the case say that much will depend on the evidence. If body camera footage or eyewitness accounts corroborate Kyle's claims, he could have a strong case against the county and deputies. On the other hand, if the deputies can demonstrate that they acted reasonably in the face of resistance or a volatile situation, the lawsuit may be dismissed or settled quietly out of court. Either way, the proceedings are expected to shed light on both the specific incident involving Kyle and the broader practices of the sheriff's department in question. Kyle's lawsuit also comes at a pivotal time for the Chrisley family's public image. With Todd and Julie imprisoned, their children have been thrust into the spotlight in new ways. Savannah Chrisley has taken on the role of family spokesperson, hosting podcasts and interviews in which she defends her parents and criticizes the justice system. Chase Chrisley has largely kept a lower profile, focusing on personal ventures, while Lindsay Chrisley Todd, his estranged daughter from a previous marriage, has maintained her own distance from the family brand. For Kyle, this lawsuit provides him with a separate platform, one that sets him apart from the narrative dominated by his parents' convictions. As the case moves forward, the Chrisley name will once again be splashed across headlines, not for reality television antics, but for the serious legal matters that continue to shape their lives. The outcome of Kyle's lawsuit could have ripple effects not just for him personally, but also for the broader Chrisley brand and its ability to recover from years of scandal. If Kyle prevails, he could position himself as a figure of resilience and justice, potentially reshaping his role within the public perception of the family. If he fails, however, the lawsuit could reinforce negative stereotypes about the Chrisleys as a family mired in drama, conflict, and legal trouble. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, America Trends 24, and stay with us.